Okay, hello, welcome back to another video. Today we're playing e4 as per usual. My opponent is going to respond with a CARO KANN, meaning they have forfeited the game instantly as we play d4. We're going to go e5, and if you play bishop f5, my friend, there we go. We can play knight c3, the Van der Wiel attack. They play e6, and this is prep, I promise. I know it looks like I don't know what I'm doing here. g4. This is the Shirov variation. This is a very sort of Richard Rapport style idea. We throw the g-pawn out on move 5. Super attacking, super aggressive, and the reason I just played knight g to e2 is that on a move like h5 we can play knight f4, and if you take this pawn here, I will take your bishop, you'll recapture, you will have tripled isolated pawns. Whoa, they go h4. That is a new one. Right, we're taking this bishop. We are taking this bishop, and we are weakening all of this right here. Bishop d3 kind of has to be a good move. You see, our opponent invested, quite a few moves in this bishop. Well, okay, they actually only invested 2 moves in this bishop, but we're going to punish them for not having invested more and stepping back, because this is a weak square. And bishop d3 is hopefully going to show that. If you play knight to e7, as we see, I can play bishop g5, pin the knight to the queen. Oh, the queen comes out and attacks my b2 pawn. But do I have a tactic? I take the knight, bishop takes. Or actually, if I take the knight, do you take here maybe? Because then my knight is hanging. I don't think so. I take the knight. If you take here, I then take this bishop. You take here with check. I could just play king f1 probably. And at no point will this pawn hang because of, oh, okay. So if here, check, then we defend this. I like this, guys. We're gonna take the knight. If you want to take here, I think that's a big mistake. So they take with the king so that this doesn't come with check. Wow, that's a very committal move. This dark square bishop is now at least temporarily horrible. And I mean, surely a little queen d2, give up the pawn, or we go for a little knight a4, hit the queen, defend here. But the queen can take on here now. That's a key thing about the king having moved. It's no longer on an accessible light square. It's not on a light square at all. It's on a dark square. Meaning, if the queen takes on d4, we no longer have this lovely bishop discovery to win this queen. So this is now an important point to think about. How do we stop this from hanging? I could set back with the knight. Oh, then knight f4. Yeah. You know what, guys? I really like this. We're gonna go for it. Knight steps back. We're gonna hold the pawn. Now you can take this, but I would be very scared, because then rook b1. I come in here, your king gets slapped, so they push the pawn. How are you going to defend this pawn though? How are you going to defend this pawn if I hit you with a little queen d2? Or better yet, a queen c1, so that there's not even an opportunity to take on here, because queen d2 maybe you can take on here. Can you? Check. King has to move, then I could castle. That would be so funny. Right, you know what, queen d2. I want my opponent to take on here. They played g5 to not allow knight f4, also to not let this hang. So again, they've had to move the king. This is not what you want to be doing, especially in the middle game. So they move the king. Now I can take this pawn, which would seem like a really good idea, honestly. Gives me f4 for my knight. If this bishop moves ever, I can take on here. But if we do take here, they take on b2. I'm actually just going to castle and play rook b1. Yeah, guys, we're taking the pawn. And we've cashed in on that pawn that we weakened right at the start. They do take here. This is so funny. I just castle. I castle kingside. This is ridiculous to castle kingside here. But the idea is that they've now opened the b file. And while I can't immediately play rook b1, I have to castle first, I can now play rook b1. And I'm going to get on the b file, ready to exploit this king. Okay. We are cooking right now. We are most certainly cooking. I've got a really dank looking idea. It involves f4 to play f5. If you take, I take with the bishop and you get sliced here. And if I go f4, f5 and you don't take, then I'm going to take. Guys, We gotta go for it. You know we gotta go for it. F4. Look at this. Yeah, you stop this square being weak. Okay, well done, mate. What are you doing with all of your pieces? This one can't move because I take here. Your rooks have not moved. The knight cannot develop to its natural square, or even the square that the king's currently occupying, and F5. And the game, I do not think, will last much longer. F4, F5, what a nice idea. So they want to trade the queens. Okay. Now, I can obviously take this pawn, because that comes with check. However, the king's not going to take, because then I go here, and that is dangerously close to checkmate. So if the only thing protecting the queen is the king, then this king has to stay attached to the queen. Now, if we go like this, it has to be this, right? It has to be this. We're not even going to calculate, we're taking it. You cannot take this pawn. Not only because you get hit with like bishop f5 ideas, but also the queen just hangs. So the king steps back. Oh my god, wait. I've just had an idea. Can I play bishop f5? You take my queen. I go e7. You take my bishop, maybe? I take here. Oh no, okay, this is probably too risky. Probably a little bit too dank. Maybe in fact we play e7 now. And then we can play bishop f5 with check. And also, I like this, I really like this. e7. We are sacrificing the pawn to open up this diagonal here. If bishop takes, this pawn's gonna hang, but I don't want to take that pawn. Uh-oh. What have I done? Okay, let's go bishop f5. This kind of has to be good, right? King comes back here. I think this was maybe a bit of a mistake. But we're still probably doing really well. I just don't want to trade queens is the only thing. Now, is there an opportune place for my queen to be situated? I don't really think so. Wait. Yeah, I think this maneuver might have been a little bit suspect, let's say. Right, let's just step back. Let's just go back, not to f4 though, because I want the f4 square for the knight. And knight f4 to play knight g6 and fork everything here. Or to jump in like this. Yeah, this is still extremely scary for my opponent. We're still definitely completely winning. I just think my idea of e7, like I was imagining some grand tactical denouement at that point in the game. Big word there. However, it does not seem that was the case. Okay, the rook comes in, right. If I go here, check. Rook takes, bishop takes. If queen takes, I can take this. So this check could actually work. And if you don't take, you don't want to go here or here. You can't go here because they're the bishop, by the way. Here. Maybe I play knight takes like this. And if you take with the king or the queen, there's some discovery like this. I think this check makes a lot of sense, guys. Right, we're going for the check. Point being, if you sack the rook and think you're winning the two minor pieces, then hello. This bishop is definitely going to hang. So they instead don't take. Okay. Now what do? Do I just step back? I think so. We don't have much time. But what we do have is now we're up in exchange. We have the most beautiful bishop I've ever seen. Our opponent's bishop is quite literally as bad as it can get. Unable to move. Rook's on the open file. That's interesting. Just seems like a target for my queen long term. Right, whoa, stop thinking so deeply. H3, this is not a good move, but we're just gonna... I mean, it is a nice move. This is now, like, really secure. Our king is gonna be safe, even though we've pushed all these pawns. Like, we're sort of keeping everything away from our king. I have 1 minute 30, and I think that c4 is gonna be the key to the continuation of our attack. The thing is, I think I'd probably like to play maybe some rook d1. You know what? A4. We're gonna go A4, A5. We want to soften these pawns here. Bang. You can have my bishop. That's okay. Take with the rook. So you push past. Oh, I should play C4 first. What am I doing? Here, if you take, Trust the process. C4. The king's in the center. We want to blow up the center. If you take like this, I'm going to go here. Idea to put the rook on b7. If you take like this, now the e file's more easy to break open, right? So rook d1. Now that the b file's not going to be open, and then we're going to play d5. Yep. Takes here. Okay, this is good. This is good. We're getting in. I think c4 is actually a really nice move. Jumps in there. What? Honestly, we're going to take, because I don't want the knight sitting in here, and then we're going to pick this up. Which is still a rook up. Rook can come in here. This king is so weak. I need to make sure I don't lose my queen here. 46 seconds, come on. Like this, I guess? I need to get these off the same diagonal. I'm kind of scared. What are you going to do about this, though? King steps back. Just lift this up. That was maybe a little bit sketchy, but oh well. Actually, I want to get the queen on this diagonal. Yeah, that looks nice. That looks nice. How about this? Hit the rook. What are you going to do? You can't move it because I take it. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Takes. Check. Here. We're just going to take this. And now there's no check along the diagonal because we've let our queen defend it. 20 seconds. Come on. Takes. Takes. Here. Don't let the king move. The pawn might run. Okay, I'm going to go here. Pawn pushes again. We go here. Stop the pawn in time. Get behind our pawn. Move the king. Pawn structure's all locked up. We're chilling. We can pre-move now. Oh yes. This is what you like to see. This is what you like to see. Absolutely what you love to see. Take the pawns. So worst case scenario, it's a draw. That's another thing about having low time. And we're going to push the h-pawn. Plenty of passed pawns. I can do this with the king and rook, but that maybe makes it a little more scary. I think our opponent might play for a stalemate maybe, or they resign here. They're spending quite a while thinking for someone with a king on e6 and no other pieces. Actually, you know what? Let's push this pawn. They have to move the king from e6. We're just going to flex on them. Unless they've rage quit. They may have rage quit. Okay, so opponent has shown their true colours as a certified waste man and resigned with 14 seconds left after making me wait 5 minutes. Okay, so here we are in the analysis. If we scroll down here, you can see it was, you know, a bit of a shaky game, but all the inaccuracies, mistakes or blunders came when we were already winning. So we have a 93% accuracy. We'll have a look through it. 93% with, you know, this many faults seems to be a little ridiculous, but let's go through the game. So we of course opened with e4. We're going to go through quite quickly because that was obviously quite a long game. I'll cut out the bits where I was waiting, obviously, but we'll open the master's database, and here you can see c6, d4 top move, d5 top move, e5 top move, bishop f5 is again top move. Here, knight c3, the Van der Wiel attack, as you can see here, e6. Look at this, 96% of masters playing the move g4 here. Now, we've got some big names having played this variation: Fabiano Caruana, Garry Kasparov, of course, Alexei Shirov, Veselin Topalov. Who else have we got? Vishy Anand, the GOAT, Alexander Morozevich. We've got some big names here, but you see that Shirov has had loads of games in this variation, and so I refer to it as the Shirov variation. I don't know if that's an official name. It's certainly not on Lichess, but the bishop steps back, knight ge2, and they go for h4. Now, knight f4. And here's where we kind of stray past master games. Apparently there's still one master game here, but basically either knight e7 makes sense, and then after I take the bishop, you can take with the knight, or you want to go bishop h7. What you do not want to do is let me take this bishop. We'll close the database now, it's not so useful. Now that I'm just better, and after takes, bishop d3, you do not want to leave your king side this weak, especially when you're nowhere close to castle and queen side. So, knight comes in, bishop g5, the best move, pinning the knight. Queen here, and I take, which is a mistake, because they did like this, which immediately would have made so much sense, because they can't do this because the king's still on this square. Okay, I did think about that, but I think in the wrong order. So we took, and then dropped the knight back, which is that the best move? Oh yes, beautiful stuff. Holding this, angling for f4. They played the best move, best response, g5, to stop me from getting in here. And then, okay, it wants a4 here. I love this position. This is so fun. But instead we go queen d2, one of the best moves. King d7, take the pawn. They take here. King side castles, best move. They step back. Rook b1. They step back. Tell me. We're just going to let the engine think. Tell me. Oh, he likes queen g6. Knight f4. f4 is creeping up there. Knight f4 is creeping up there. Okay, engine does really like knight f4, but they also thinks f4 is a great move as well. The Eval bar does drop, but it will go back up in a second once it reaches further depth. You can see that all the, yeah, here we go. So, point of this is to break everything open next to the king. So we go for f5, you see that's the best move now, so at least our plan was correct. And then here, takes here. Yeah, this e7 didn't really make much sense. Queen takes, I went bishop f5, I should have gone queen f5. Then what if the queen blocks? Or we could go for this. And if you go like this to stop me from pushing, then I can go knight f4, then I can go in here. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Instead we went bishop check. Still really pleasant though, we're still like plus 4-ish if you look at the evaluations here. And then after the king moves, oh, that's so nice. That's so clean. Knight f4, queen takes check, and we win the queen back. That's so clean. I didn't want to trade the queen, so even if I'd seen that, I wouldn't have done it anyway, but knight f4 would have been good. I kept the queens, then played knight f4, gave the check, takes, and obviously if we'd seen takes, we could have taken here. That would not end well for my opponent's rook, for either of my opponent's rooks, for that matter. So instead, they dropped the knight back, we just drop our bishop back, and then here, I felt a little bit of the time pressure. h3 is actually a really nice move, just locking everything out. There's now no way in ever. h3, close everything off, seal the gap. The knight steps back, we go for this attack here. They push past. c4. Oh, let's just check our idea here. I love this game. I love this game. Our idea would have been right if they'd taken like this here to play rook b7. That's really lovely. But instead they take like this. Rook d1, okay. Not so accurate. Now we burst forward. I do not care. I play rook d1 again. I guess they could have gone in here, taken this pawn, and all of a sudden they've got like a bunch of connected passed pawns. But then, like, yeah, I picked this up. Like, I'm still completely winning. So then I burst through with the pawn, obvious threat of a little fork here, so they have to take. Rook takes, and I pick up a pawn. Again, didn't have much time, so forgive me for any inaccuracies here. I said I should have got on the light squares, and then I did get on the light squares. Okay, now we have mate in 5, which I just did not even find slightly because I had 20 seconds and I thought, you know what, get rid of this and just pick up the pawns. And at this point, it's a very simple matter of pre-moving because everything here is locked out. So, I mean, I think my advice would still be to play this move, basically saying that, okay, after you take, I'm going to take the bishop, even though I'm losing an exchange in that trade. I have an extra rook, and while here I have to worry about various queen checks and, you know, problems like this when I have 20 seconds, if we just go like this, they have to take. And then, oh, I could have gone rook b1. That's actually really dumb that I didn't go rook b1. But I was panicking a little bit, and then it's just a matter of mop up the pawns, and, you know, once our opponent's king threatened the pawn, we go behind it, and you can just pre-move now. You can just easily pre-move the king, as we saw, pick up all the pawns, and our opponent then rage quit in this position. Wow. Thanks so much for watching the video. I'm going to include a link in the description to the tutorial on this exact opening that I made. I think it's one of my best, well, it's definitely, I think, one of my best tutorials, if not one of my most useful videos, because I just think this theory is really awesome. The Van der Wiel with the G4 idea. I think it's really cool. And if you guys want to learn how to play like that, check out the video as well. But for now, thanks for watching another Will Taylor Chess upload. If you are not subscribed, please do so. I'd really appreciate it. Cheers. Make sure you like the video, comment, do all that good stuff that helps out the channel, and I will see you tomorrow for the next one. Bye.